Hello, welcome to another Friday artwork video. So, we're at a very interesting point here. I have, as you can hear, some binder pages from Time Spiral. And I'll go through with the regular cards first, and then we'll move on to the time-shifted stuff. So you also notice there's just a high degree of monocolour cards here. There's a few multicoloured cards, but generally, you're going to notice monocoloured stuff more. If you want to see the original unboxings for these, which are pretty interesting, because I would have opened some tournament packs, actually, as part of this, in addition to some boosters, then yeah, I'll include a link in the description, so you can check that out. And then that way, that's where I actually go through in quite detail the rest of the card. Here I just sort of show the rules text, just so if you're not familiar with the card, you can get a rough idea of what it does very quickly, because this is obviously primarily an artwork nostalgia series. Also with this one, this whole block was a a rules smorgasbord, I think, of various things. So it gets quite fun, let's put it that way, trying to describe what's going on ability-wise, mechanic-wise, keyword-wise in these sets. And I think it only got worse as the sets went on in the block, like just in terms of just the complexity. Yeah, I don't think with these, I'm trying to think the last time I actually went through this binder. So probably not since I resorted it a little bit. These are in alphabetical order, if you're wondering, within the different colours. Don't know whether we've got many fools in here or not, we'll see. There's quite strange artwork in places as well. When you look at it, it doesn't look, to me at least, very coherent. But yeah, I'm assuming that was sort of intentional. But yeah, a very strange time, I think. As I was saying in Monday's Deck Musings episode, where you've got, as standard rolls on around this time, you get to an interesting period after this, when you start to roll into lawing. So you're going from this current the standard, and you've got Cold Snap in the mix. Then you've got a new core set. Once you get through this particular block, the Time Spiral block, you've got like a new core set. And then you have Lawin appear. So you have this standard with the whole of the Time Spiral block in it. Cold Snap, a core set, which of course isn't really such a big deal. And then Lawin. So if anybody, I think I said this in the I don't know if I did mention it this morning in Monday's, because I filmed it this morning, but it's going out, a week before that you'll see this one. But I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'd be interested to know if anybody was playing standard around that time, what it felt like. I've just suddenly thought of a really wacky, do I want to do it? So now I'm making a rod for my back. And I'm just trying to think, how many sets have we got there? So we've got the whole block, that's 3. We've got, oh yeah, oh dear, we've got Cold Snap, we've got 10th edition, and we got Lorwyn. If I did a pack from each, you could do like this really wacky episode of, what did I used to call it? It was some sort of Durdley episode. Deck Durdle. I wonder if I've been raiding this for slivers. I do notice I've got a gap in the binder here. Because somewhere I do have a slivers deck. I notice there's a few slivers here. By the way, I didn't point that out. You probably noticed the... did I? Hey, see, this is what I do. Let me just do that again. So... Pulmonic sliver is a rare. So I've got a hole in the binder. There's a card missing, and I'm assuming it was another sliver that's ended up in a sliver stick. Right. So moving on to blue, once I get myself sorted out here. Bewilder. Okay, it's funny, I thought that said twiddler from a distance. I have to take my glasses off for this when I'm doing it through the screen. Okay, here we go. So there's probably a few here, a few cards that you're going to easily recognise, and a few you may not. As I said, although I'm not specifically going to talk about it, because I would have done that in the original pack openings, and of course there's also a set musings to go with this, so I'll include a link to that. But you're probably noticing you've got things like buyback, we got morph here on this card, Cold Trickster on that. Dreamstalker, rather creepy artwork, I think. Now I remember this. I remember this next card. Yeah, these suspend cards. Yeah, it brings back memories of me drafting this set way after it was released, like on a flashback draft on MTGO, and getting loads of these because these are a common. Moving through blue still. Oh, a bit of morph action going on there. Yeah, the other thing they might have done here is mix up stuff a bit, so, you know, have mana costs on things that maybe they hadn't used before, or costs generally, should I say. Okay, that's another rare, that's a blue one. That's Moonlace. I always found that the, I don't know if they did it for everything, and you'll see in a moment when I bring up the next card. Okay, we've got a couple of cards here together. But yeah, the suspend cards, like the way they handle the artwork, was interesting. Got a spell burst here with buyback. More slivers. And a spike-tail drakeling there. The other thing I like about doing this series is that, you know, artwork which seems fairly, I don't know, unexciting. When you often see it just there, we get it up on close on camera, and it's quite a transformation. Interesting, isn't it? No foil stuff so far. So obviously no foils for me. Okay. Another suspend. Funny they didn't do that. Oh yeah, I can see it now. I was going to say, that. Can you see there's the cut? So sort of half and half they were doing. So yeah. I don't know if they did it on all the what they did on the split second cards actually. Here's a buyback card with a buyback cost of sacrificing 3 islands. That's a rare. Yeah, so I was mentioning about split second. Some of the printing on this, the text is a little bit weird, so it looks a little bit splodgy. You can see they wipe away. That's a split second card. Yeah, they had copies of this at common when they were moving on to black. There was Assassinate in the set, which I think my first exposure to that was when I was opening the 10th edition. I think it appeared. Yeah, see, there's another. There's a suspend. There you can see like 1 foot somewhere else. Again, on some of these it's more obvious than others. Aha, Thulid. Oh yeah, this was in the set. Dread Return. Got flashback on it. Sacrifice 3 creatures. Okay. Now, Evil Eye of Urborg. Non-eye creatures you control can't attack. That's very strange artwork. Let's see how this looks on camera. Those faces in there, like little skulls maybe, I don't know. Nice bit of leech artwork. And another sliver. So yeah, the slivers were a thing in this particular set, and obviously a great place to come if you're minded to build a sliver deck. Have a look through it. I don't know how you pronounce it. I know it's Thysis, but card with suspend, and yeah, another one with that style there. You can see. Oh dear. It's rather disturbing, this one. It's got madness on it. Surprise, surprise. Alright. Another rare. Cool. Sengir Nosferatu. And yeah, Strangling Soot was in the deck as well. Sorry, in the set. That's the one with flashback in a different colour. Just spotted something up ahead. Right. So, what else are we? We have this Ether Flame Wall. Now that, I don't have it. I bet that's nice in for it. Yeah, so another card with a different colour flashback to the casting, the colour of the card in the casting cost. So moving on to red now. Interesting red insect. Okay. Well, I'm rather pleased that we actually have the next card. It's a rare, and it featured in the video I did on Monday. Remember we were doing what? Dragonstorm deck. And it is indeed Garden Hellkite. Very nice. So that's a rare. And we have Coal Stoker. It's an elemental. But also, and this was just printed at common, but some people probably recognise this card. We have an Empty Warrens. Right. Do fire breathing. And then, okay, so this does answer a question goes some way to answer a question I posed on Monday's video about the presence of Storm in this set. Because we were looking at a card where they had Storm on Time Shifted card, specifically Dragonstorm. This is one of the regular cards, so they've got it on those as well. So it's just a problem I have. There's just so much stuff in this block that I just forget what is in here in terms of abilities and keywords and all that sort of stuff. Another suspend card with the the way they've been doing the artwork on those. Mog War Marshal with Echo on it. It's interesting, I suppose, as well with this set, like what cards were in here that were, you know, reprints, and just put in with the regular cards, and which ones were reprints and included in the time shifted slot in their original bordering. So yeah. Okay, another suspend. And yet another one. Which is Rift Bolt. We'll come up to green in a moment and I see a foil. And then we got Split Second, Sudden Shock. Okay, so the last of the few red cards here. Again, some of these I've got duplicates of, but no point in showing those. And if you want to see any of the basic lands, then obviously you want to be checking out my Land Ahoy episodes. They're always good for that. So if you wonder where they've gone for this set, because the tournament decks that I opened would have had land in them. I'll also get to see those when I open those packs. Right, I don't have both versions of this, but this is a foil, and this is Aspect of the Mongoose. Yeah, that's doing weird things on camera. I don't know how easy you can see that. Which is an aura. Okay. Chameleon Blur. Okay, another suspend. And there you can see breaking through from its suspension. Okay. Darkwood Tracker. And we have a Flash Trample Worm. Oh yeah, I remember this. Molder. Okay. Oh yeah, and this as well. Interesting bit of land destruction. In green, so there's going to be a spider probably somewhere in here, as you can see. I think generally, wasn't there a, what's the deck called, Fun with Fungus? I'm sure there was a theme deck around this time, which was a fungus deck. suspend card. Okay. Okay. Sprout and strength in numbers. Okay, getting to the end of our green stuff. Another fungus there, so a couple of funguses. Phallid germinator and then into phallid shell dweller. And then we have this. So this is our rare. Gives all saplings +1/+1. Has morph. When you turn it face up, you can get 4 sapling creature tokens. And that was at rare. And then we're in green, so we do have a dryad in here. Now that one, yeah, it's green, and so there are multicoloured cards in here in terms of some of the, so in 2 places, some of the mono-coloured casting cards have a, you know, an activation cost that isn't the same colour, so they do it that way. But also, as you'll see in a moment, there are a few where they're, you know, multicoloured in the actual casting cost itself, like this one, Dementia Sliver. So we got a few of these slivers which were 2 colours. So yeah, as I've already said, there's quite a number of slivers in this set. And this is still with their original templating as well. So it's all slivers, not just slivers you control, where it got changed later on in Magic. Also got a couple of legendaries here. It says suspend on it. Ithai Arcanist. And then we also have at our disposal another rare legend, which is this one, which is Mishra. And then, as we're going through this alphabetically, back to another multicolour sliver. Okay, moving on to artifacts. So we have Chronotog Totem in here. Yeah, it's been so long since I did the original set Musings, I just can't actually tell you what cycles are in here. So, oh, there's Joyra's Time Bug. Prismatic Lens was in here, so that's one of these, you know, 2 casting cost mana rocks, where you can add one of any mana colour and then use it to filter, filter one colour into another. You see that case it come up in Magic. And I've got a rare artifact, which is this. Interesting card. With an interesting name. And there's also another way of fixing mana through artifacts here that I have, which is Paradise Plume. It's like a strange combination of Lucky Charm and mana generator, but it does come into play tapped. Okay, the only storage lands I have here, let me get one. There's definitely something very weird about this printing, this batch here, because I've got some cards where this one's not too bad. The other copy I've got of this is quite a little bit splodgy, but I do have a calciform pools. That's the only one of that cycle I have. The other thing, and so this was the set where I believe this card first appeared, which is Terramorphic Expanse. So another way in here of fixing for mana. Then we get onto some interesting stuff. So we now finally get to see the cards that were in that time-shifted slot. So they have, actually they do have old style borders. And things like Merfolk Assassin. So the only difference is this, you know, set symbol really. If you look at them side by side on Scryfall, as I did on Monday when I was doing my Deck Musings episode, you probably noticed subtle differences between the two. You know, the typesetting looks a little bit different. Looks like the spacing between the characters might be a little different. There's another eye there. Got a Nightmare Horror in the form of a Faceless Butcher. Of course, if you happen to watch the pack openings and the opening of the tournament deck for this, you'll get a feel for like where in the pack these appeared, like what, you know, how they were distributed. Okay, there was. And I've got one here actually. I don't know how many they printed in terms of different ones, but yeah, there was a legendary creature in here, or the legendary creature that I pulled. I'm assuming there were more legends printed in the time shifted slot. There's also Stormbind, which I think originally was part of a cycle. So. And again, it'd be interesting to go back to my original set musings and just see how that all slotted together. And then we have a Grinning Totem. Now, I thought I'd show you a couple more things that were interesting about the booster packs and stuff. I don't know, I can't remember how often these have appeared. We've seen them before, but they're, you know, these Pro Tour cards started appearing, and these sort of stats cards, Hall of Fame one there. So that's what those look like, and those were turning up in product. And then the other thing, and these must have come from the tournament decks, these sort of inserts, and you'd often, you know, back in the day, you'd often see these in, let me just zoom out a little bit here, there we go, you'd often see these in various decks, like starter decks and starter packs and things like that. So yeah, there's a rules insert for covering stuff like this. You also theme decks, you get them as well. So these are also included in the appropriate tournament deck. for the set. So that's pretty interesting. Just some real, standard F&M promo stuff on the back. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that flick through the artwork. I certainly enjoyed going through that. It's a binder I don't think I've opened up for quite a while. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future video.